We want to welcome everybody here today to our Monday Mastermind. Congratulations. Can you imagine getting all these realtors here on time? What is going on? That's impossible. You guys are all champs. We believe in not wasting your time. We believe you want to value your time. So we get started. First of all, I want to tell you, we do have some free services for you. If you're wondering what we're called Grow Global. And if you're wondering why we're called that, because we're helping you grow your business, grow your network so you can grow your life. We have a Facebook page. You definitely want to have somebody invite you to join that. We have a YouTube page. Look, we're on Mondays every noon Eastern Standard Time, but sometimes you're busy, right? On Mondays is the way it works. So we do record everything. Look, we've got now 85 videos and counting. We've been doing this for a couple of years. We do them on Mondays, every topic out there. We also have an Instagram page where you can check out things that we have going on. And of course, we have a website. And on this website, we have different links for you to check out. The main one I want you to see right here is our events. What are we talking about on Monday Mastermind? Well, today's Monday Mastermind, we're going to be talking about new construction. We're going to be unpacking that. And today is an open forum. Why are we doing an open forum? Because we did it like a week or 2 weeks ago, and it was a huge hit. We were able to get advice from you. We were able to get questions from you. And today you're going to be able to ask questions, share your experiences, and also gain insights. It's going to be very interactive. So what does that mean? That means you're going to get to ask questions. You're going to be able to put them in the chat box, and we'll be able to read them. You're going to be able to tell us your experience, and you'll be able to unmute and get a chance to talk. You'll even be able to turn your camera on if you want to. I see Tracy Boss Moves Wiggins there going on. What's going on, Bonnie? How are you doing? Timothy Woods, good to see you, and Stephanie Gillison. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start off with the amazing Rob Campbell. If you don't know who he is, Rob and Kim actually were with RE/MAX for a long time. I believe they were like the #1 RE/MAX broker, like 7 out of 8 years in a row. They were doing $1 billion in sales back before people even used that B word. It was only millions. Rob, how many brokerages did you have? How many offices did you have?
15 offices for RE/MAX, yes.
15
way back
offices.
in the day.
Hundreds and hundreds of agents, and now Rob and Kim actually coach thousands of agents, and we've got them here today. So we're going to be talking about new builds, how we can add more sales. Who here, by show of hands, would like to sell more houses in 2025? If you don't want to, then you're on the wrong call. You can just go ahead and jump off now, because we're going to show you how to sell more houses in less time. Because here's what I know, you're all super busy. How can you sell more houses? I'm already tapped out. The answer is new builds. And we're going to start off here with Rob. He's going to tell us a little bit about his experience with new builds and what he coaches agents on to get started. And then we'll start taking your questions from there. Go ahead, Rob.
Sounds good. And this is an open forum, so be sure to put in your questions in the chat box or raise your hands along the way. We're all going to be talking about this together, but new construction is kind of how I got started in real estate way back in the day. Back in the 90s, when I first got my real estate license, I chose to affiliate with a real estate broker who managed subdivisions. He was in RE/MAX. He did resales. He had an office full of agents doing resales, but he himself liked to manage subdivisions. He had a handful of subdivisions he was overseeing, and he would put salespeople inside those subdivisions in the sales center or the model home to sell homes in the community. And so that's how I got started in real estate back in the day. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. He was kind of holding my hand and teaching me. So on the weekends, which is the hottest time for new construction, he would have me sit the sales center at a subdivision out near where I lived. Well, I had clients coming in, showing the homes, and was able to sell quite a few homes in my first year in real estate during new construction. Now, what's the difference in new construction? Because a lot of agents get into the real estate world and they're first taught is to go after buyers, right? Well, and that's normal. You should go after buyers, but a lot of them don't really understand the new construction until later. Now they take buyers to new construction. So we'll talk today. I'm sure a lot of people will have comments on what their experience is in taking buyers to new construction. But how can you actually build a business about new construction? So first thing is when we, back in the day, we would go out and solicit developers Not the builders. We did that too, but our main connection was the developers. We wanted to find developers who are developing small communities. And when I mean small communities, less than, 75 homes in the community, because usually big tract home builders get up bigger properties like that. But you get small communities, if you can get a hold of the developer and work a deal with the developer and say, hey, look, I'll do all the marketing, I'll pay for the marketing, but I want exclusive control in the neighborhood. I want to be able to market all the builders in the neighborhood. If you're going to just have one, market him, or if you're going to have a bunch, market all of them. And so we would negotiate deals to take over the whole development, make it a sweet deal for the developer. He goes hands off, didn't have to deal with anything. Then the builders, when they come in, they were required to list their property with us. Actually, legally, we couldn't require it. However, they got a huge discount on the lot if they listed it with us. That's how we worked it through the deal, right? So if they didn't want to do with us, that's fine, but they had a huge penalty to pay to go around the on-site salespeople. So they all, obviously, builders love to make money, so they opted for us to do the new construction. So we were able to capture the community, market in a unique way, market the homes, and sell new construction. Most agents are not going to have that chance, and especially with the way the market is changing, with more and more big box tract builders out there. It's harder to get that done. However, you can still make a lot of money in representing builders. You can make a lot of money in representing buyers to new construction, or even becoming a new construction expert. So how do you do that though? How do you become a new construction expert if you're not listing the property? Well, if you market yourself with knowledge about all the new construction in an area that you're focusing on, you can actually go into the representatives who are representing those properties. They'll be happy to let you have information, usually to get to your buyers, but also to market you as an expert in that area. You know all about the builder, you know all about the upgrades, you know what they will do and won't do, you know what things they'll negotiate on. You can help buyers get into those communities because you know what that builder is going to do. So if you market yourself as an expert in those communities and those builders and those properties, and how you could customize your work, that's the key for working new construction and attracting more people. That's one way to do it. But there's a ton of ways to get it, and there's a ton of things in new construction to be aware of. And Jim and I are going to talk about some of those here in just a minute. But while we're talking about that, does anybody have any questions or has worked with new construction? I want to hear your stories so we can piggyback off of those stories of new construction. Who sold a new construction property here recently? Raise your hand or jump on. I know Stephanie has. She's a dynamo at that.
Stephanie has to talk. She's the builder,
I'm
developer.
sure you will.
She is like, come on, Stephanie, give it to us.
I'm here. Okay, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to talk about? No, I mean, Rob's right. I mean, back in the day, I got into the business because of new construction as well, because I didn't want one listing. I wanted a lot of listings, right? I was going after what's going to get me the most listings in the quickest amount of time. And that was looking at the builders who were building homes but didn't have a real estate sign attached to them. And then actually coaching those builders, getting their houses listed, and then eventually giving them the courage and the backbone to then, let's go become a developer, because then I could land the entire development. And so my entire goal through my career was to not have next week's deal, but to have 3 to 5 years worth of deals in my pocket. And so that's how I built my business. And then fast forward to today, that's exactly what I do. I'm now the developer and the builder. As far as from this side of things, look, we are real estate agents, raving fans. I absolutely love when real estate agents bring me buyers, because I'd much rather pay you all a commission than pay tons of dollars in marketing that may or may not work, right? And so, what we're looking for in agents to represent our product are those that learn about our product. I don't know how many times I'm approached by a real estate agent that says, "Can I please put your home on social media? Can I come and tour and put your home on social media?" And I go, "Well, tell me about my home." And they're like, "I don't know." Well, why do I want it on social media then? Think about it, you all. Learn what it is that you're going into. Ask that builder, explain to me your building process. Explain to me, what makes this a whatever custom home. Get to learn from them because they love talking about themselves. We all love talking about themselves. One of my favorite, the reason why I'm great at selling my own homes that I build is because I know every stick of it. But you as the agent can be just as descriptive, and you can know that same amount of information if you try to learn it. Okay. And so that's what I did back in the day as an agent is I learned my builders. I learned the differences between my builders. I knew exactly what made it a Carl Cox house or what made it a Rob Smith house or what made it a Chris Carey. I knew exactly. And that's what I sold to. Okay. And so knowing your product is number one, and that's how you're going to get things sold. We brought this up on a couple of webinars ago. Stacy actually, Jim, brought this up. Right now, you look at resale value and you look at construction, they're kind of like right here. There's a lot of people looking at new construction because they're not seeing what they want on the resale side of things. They are looking at, right now there's by the time they fight for that resale house, they might as well just go and build what it is that they want. And so a lot of markets, especially our market here, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, you might as well start looking at the new construction or what's it going to take to build a house, because they are pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah,
I love it. Looks like
yeah,
Tracy Boss Moves Wiggins on here, and she's got a story. Tracy and Shanice.
Yes.
Shanice, you're a newer agent. You got your first buyer being a new construction buyer. We'd love to hear the story. First of all, where'd you get the client? Because I bet everybody on here is like, I would love to sell new builds, but how do you get a new build client? So either Tracy or Shanice or both of you, please comment on the story. Let's hear it.
Well, I'll speak up first because I know Shanice may or may not want to speak, but hopefully she will.
Shanice, we're volunteering you to speak. If you're on the call, we want to hear the story. Tell us the good news.
Yeah. So the client came by way of one of my former salon friends in Nashville, and she said, "Hey, I have a client that wants to work with you." And of course, with me building a team, I went and passed it on to my team member, Shanice, giving her first buyer, I believe. Shanice, let me know if I'm wrong, but giving her her first buyer, and it was a new construction. We actually was looking at resale homes, and then the client saw this new construction community, and they went over there. She fell in love. We actually had her approved with Bank of America. They have an amazing grant program, and so for a first-time home buyer, sometimes that down payment is not something that they have readily available, especially when they're young and they're doing their first purchase. And so she actually walked away from Bank of America's grant because new construction, of course, these builders are often offering great incentives. Not only that, they were able to beat the rate, and that was what really got my client's attention. She's bringing more to the closing table because she preferred to have a better rate. And so today they're doing the home inspection. I know a lot of times people feel major confidence when it comes to builders, but you do have to check them as well. And so I highly suggested her having a home inspector to come in, a non-factor, to take a look at what's going on. And this particular home inspector has found things also with some great builders, and it still made us feel more confident in moving forward, knowing what's going on with the home. And of course, they readily fixed it, of course, because they come with those great warranties and things like that. And so that's what they're doing today. Shanice texted me this morning and said, "Hey, should I go to the home inspection?" I said, "Absolutely. Everything is footage. Everything is footage. You want to take advantage of people seeing you work." And so when you get there, the inspector likes to have the first hour and a half to himself. Grab that last 30 minutes and ask him, did he find anything? What is your rating on this particular builder? Also, you want to ask him, what's the importance? Why would someone need to do an inspection on a new construction? And that way it gives you some footage. You want people to see you out there working. And then maybe that next person that wants to buy a new construction may call you, Shanice. So you can tell them your experience also.
Let's hear Shanice. Great job, Tracy. We know you're such a champion team leader. Shanice, we know you're new probably on here, but it's your turn to talk. We're dragging it out of you. She said
Good
that's
morning.
correct in the chat.
Good morning,
Go ahead.
everybody.
Hey, Shanice. Welcome.
Thank you. I am on Tracy's team, Boss Moves Elite Group. And honestly, I don't want to say this like being my first client ever. I don't want to say it was a piece of cake, but it kind of has been. And I want to say shout out to Tracy for that because she's been a huge help throughout the process. Honestly, I was on the call last week about finding your niche, and being in this process with this client has made me interested in making this one of my top interests and niche. So I've been researching it, and actually, I've been interested in starting marketing for new construction as well, but yeah, this process has definitely brought me more interest in new construction. So this is the perfect call this week.
I love it. Congratulations on that, Shanice. So this comes up. This is going to create a great topic for us, a great segue. This is something we want to talk about is where do you get new build leads? I mean, yeah, great. The process is a little easier, right? You don't have to worry about getting into competitive bidding wars, right? They're very acceptable when you have a home to sell, right? People can pick their own colors and things like that. So how do you get new build leads? Where do they come from? So let's open that forum up and everybody can take some notes on here while everybody's kind of thinking and getting ready to unmute. I'm going to start, first of all, Stacy and I started our career back in the 1900s with new builds. And, you know, one of the places that was great place for our agents that worked with us to get leads was you got to put some bait out. You got to put something out that's going to attract people to it. So what is it that you put out? Well, Tracy just said it right there. You can go out and I recommend everybody find, you can go to the we call it the BIA here in Columbus. You might have it in your state, the Building Industry Association, and find out which builder in your area is building the most homes. And inside that builder, then I want you to go find one rep and I want you to take them some lunch, take them a Starbucks or something like that, and sit down with them and see if you're cool with each other. When you're there, I want you to interview that rep and you want to find out what's your registration process? How do I register a buyer with you? What are your advertising policies? What can I and can I not put on social media? Oh, by the way, can I put my phone out right now, you and I, and do a quick little 90-second reel video where we talk real quickly on social about what's going on here with the build community? What type of promos do you have going on? Right now in Columbus, we've got builders doing 4.5% 30-year fixed interest rates. Let me repeat that. 4.5% 30-year fixed interest rates, right? That means if they're looking at 350 or 400 in Columbus, they're looking at a 425 to 475 new build for the same payment. And look, guys, people buy payment, they don't buy price. Same thing goes on car dealerships, right? That's why leasing is such a big deal. When they subvent that lease rate, people are buying the payment. And that new build rep's going to know what you can and cannot advertise. Now, we are all across the country here on this call, so let me put out our disclaimer. Check with your broker. Make sure you're not violating any broker laws. But let's hear who out there. Tracy Boston Wiggins says they have awesome deals and incentives. And look, when you get your buyer into that model, there's like pixie dust in there or something that just, they fall in love. It's like sitting in a new car. You show up at the car dealership to buy this used car. And what do you leave with? You leave with a new car that's 3 times the price of the used car you were going in because they sit you down in one of those new cars and have you take it for a test drive, right? So who wants to unmute and talk about some other ways they've either gotten new build leads in the past or they know that this process works? Who wants to say something on there? Rob, you probably have some, don't you?
Mine's back from the old school days, but I'm going off of what agents are doing today because when I'm coaching, I get to hear some of the things they're doing. A lot of people on attracting buyers and sellers, they're doing what you're talking about, is they're posting on social media. There was this girl here in Beaufort, Georgia, not far from me, brand new licensee. All she did was to go into a new construction home, film herself going through the home, talking about this new construction home is ready to go. It wasn't hers. She didn't list it. but she was just talking about the new construction in her area, and she would do that regularly. She became so popular, her business exploded. So yes, just getting out there on social media, talking about new construction, talking about things you need to learn about new construction, maybe information. I mean, you have to use the builder contract with new construction. In most cases, they're not using the local forms. So what's the difference in a builder contract? It's all slanted toward the builder. What do you need to watch out for? If you feed information to the client, they're going to see you as an expert, and they're going to want to come use you because they're going to think you're going to help them. How to do the inspection, like they were talking about, making sure you help them through the inspection process. What do you think you can get them to give you as far as incentives in the new construction? There's a lot of things that you can be an expert and talk about on social media, but that can attract people to you as being an expert in that field.
When we were at the builder, we had a special hard hat with the builder logo on it that we would let realtors use and go out and take pictures with them at the construction site. I promise you this, guys, if you go to the construction site and make sure the construction supervisor is cool with it, right? Check in first. Don't just go do this. But you can wear their hard hat and you go out there. I promise you, you put a hard hat on and some boots and go out to the construction site when they're framing a house and put your camera up and just put it out in front of your face and just start talking a little bit. Hey, this is framing that's going on right now. Here's a house that's under construction. I'd love to talk to you about the process and how it works and the advantages and disadvantages of doing it. You're going to get some hits. You're definitely going to get views. Put it on everything. Put it on your YouTube shorts. Put it on your Instagram. Put it on your Facebook. Put it on your TikTok. Put it on all the things, your LinkedIn, everything out there. You're going to get people to see it. Now, another great way to get new, as we're waiting on somebody to raise their hand or unmute, another great way to get new build leads is this. Once you've made a friendship with your agent, with your builder rep, start holding their specs open. Now, again, this doesn't apply to everywhere. You got to check and make sure that this is illegal, not illegal, a legal process, not illegal process. Oh my gosh, there's a Freudian slip. And make sure it's legal where you're at. And you can hold their new builds open. Now, here's what I'm going to point out to you. A lot of the shadow inventory, use that word shadow inventory, is not on Realtor.com. It's not listed. It's not on Zillow. That property, then, if you properly market it on your socials and you're holding it open, most buyers out there think they've seen everything. They have. I don't need a real estate agent. I've seen everything, but not when it comes to shadow inventory. And that catches their attention. Shadow inventory. What's this shadow inventory thing? You can market that. By the way, you guys can use that today if you want. Just give me credit for the first 5 times you use it. And after that, you can say you came up with it. But shadow inventory, put that into a real estate post today. Look, I have access to shadow inventory you can't find on the internet anywhere. Hit me up if you want to talk about what that looks like. And it's new build inventory. Again, make sure your builders are cool with it. But doing that, here's a great way. When we worked in the new build model, some of the best traffic time in the new build model, walk-in traffic off the street, was between 5 and 7 at night. What do we call those here in Columbus, Ohio? We call those twilight open houses. If you don't have enough sales right now and you don't, you've got no showings in the evening after you've had a snack, get your butt in a twilight open house with a new build and get out there and you will get some people in. Now, are they going to buy the house you're sitting in? Probably not. But guess who you just made friends with? Oh my gosh, the builder rep. You can literally have them walk in, get their name and number, text it down to your new build rep, and send them to the model. The pixie dust takes place. The new build rep's sitting there selling them while you're sitting there pulling in leads off the street. That is the way to get new build clients right now. And oh, maybe they changed their mind. Oh, darn, they don't want to do new builds. Oh, darn, you have to go sell them an existing. But
Right?
now they're your client and you're sitting in a house that's not out there on the MLS everywhere. How often could you do a twilight open house if your business is just flatlined right now and you're dying? The answer is every friggin' night, because that's what new build reps are sitting in there. They're in those models 7 days a week, most of them. Maybe some builder reps close on Sunday, but 7 days a week. Get yourself in a Saturday open house. Get yourself in there on a Sunday open house. You're going to get new build leads. And as long as you have a good enough relationship with your builder rep, for our best agents, all we needed them, this is back in the day, all we needed them to do was use their Nextel and click us over. They'd beep, beep, bleep us, and we'd talk to them, and they'd send us the name and phone number of the person that was coming. We counted that as being registered. Now, other builders work differently, so find out with your new build rep. You can do that today. You could literally be up and running today and be in a twilight open house tonight and put your signs out and start getting new build leads where you're going like that. So who else wants to unmute and come up with some ideas? I've got some more for you here that we can do, but who likes that? Anybody like that idea? Right? Yes? Okay. You can be out there and up and running. Who here wants some more listings? Who here wants some more listings? Raise your hand if you want some listings. Timothy, you want some listings? Brian Conrad says, yes. Jonathan, you want some listings? Put the hand up. There we go. All right. Here's how you get them. Oh, Rochelle's got both hands up. She's going to get double listings. Here you go. You're welcome to steal this and take this and use it. Make very good friends with your new build rep, because sometimes they get walk-in traffic that comes in off the street. They're unrepresented. And guess what they have? They have a home to sell. Who's that new build rep going to give the person to? Because the new build rep can't sell their house. They need an agent. What they'll do is they'll find their best realtor who's connected with them the best, who they've seen, and they're going to stick that listing with them and then put you on the new build deal. So here's the deal. Sometimes somebody might say, you know what, my business is going, maybe I'll list that house for 2% because it was just handed to me and I'm being put on a new build deal, a complete lead that you get that you didn't have before, and you're double dipping now. Because why? Because you made a relationship with the new build rep and you're in there. 901 David, you've got a hand up. Let's hear it. Go ahead and unmute. Yeah.
Hey, David.
Oh, you're muted again, David. Go ahead and unmute again.
Okay. Can you?
There we go. Now we got you. Go ahead.
Let's see what. Can you hear me now? Okay, cool.
We can hear you.
Hey everybody. So one of the things that I have on a new home is actually I went out and interview what the good in the area here for the people that work there. The one that I have, it makes sure that they a lot of company right now, they do offers a flat fee or flat commission to the listing agent, so they really welcome us to be there with them. I don't know what your area is, but over here, like 10 years ago, some builder they get 2% if no agent involved. If we involved, then we get 1%. So other agent over there, they don't really like to work with us as an outsider. But now I saw everybody that offer, like over here, they offer 3% and also 3% for buyer agent. So I did a video about the neighborhood and interview them. One of the company, they saw it during their sale meeting. So when I go to another neighborhood, oh, I know you. I said, how you know me? I just came here. I said, you were in my, the lady was bragging about you and how good you are. So I would own a mortgage, so I able to pull up the loan and get a clear flow in 5 business days. So they're loving it. So it's good out there. And I interviewed them. And also one of the lady, I told her that it's good because they sell a lot of house, but in the future, maybe down the road, if you want to move, think about ESB, let me know. I just told her, I just throw it out there for you after my interview with her. So, but when, I just told him that. And then after 2 years, when she ready to move, she called me and then she with EXP now. So that's one of the things too. But one thing I have a question on, I want to give feedback on that because we have a lot of buyers coming from the video, the watching that I interviewed the lady and they call me with question. And like I said, I talked to a lot of other agent out there that they're doing this is as a new agent. You come up there, you get some content. A lot of agents I want to do YouTube, I have no content. Go out there and ask other builder what they have going on. Sometimes have like special promotion. I learned from other meetings that say is if you're gonna call me, don't call directly. I got some special for you. So like one of the deal we had that come directly from the agent to the agent, and that agent say you use that lender, they give you 1%. But when they call me, I told her call me. I told that agent write up for 3%. Buyer agent contribution for the lender, and I told them with this program because it's special case that they have to use my company. Other lender cannot qualify, but my record with them is already there. I done about 3 deals with them already. So she would thought that she said I just write it for you. I don't think they're going to take it. But if you already done it for them before, I gave her my reference for the other one that I have done. So she turned it in, and we just had a contract 2 days ago. And they're okay with the 3% for my buyer. So sometimes it's incentive. Like I explained to them, we like a wholesale. If you come direct to the builder, you only buy one house. But you come to me, they do a special because I'm a top agent here, and I have to show a lot of house for them. I'm not saying that to saying it, but I actually done that. So that's the leverage, all about leveraging. But my hand raised up. I have a question.
Go
How do
ahead.
you I need some tips to tell families member, especially family members, they want to list a house and that, like, that just bought a house 2 years ago. It's 410, free clear. Now they want to list like 430. I said, well, the market out there is. I mean, I list for 1 week and no showing at all. We do open house, no showing at all. But I done it for her before, and like the house like 340, and they try to list 370. So it take about 2-3 months. We have to drop it until we get it to 340. We selling it. But I
David,
want them
what market
tips going.
are you in?
I'm in Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis,
You,
Tennessee.
yeah.
So what's going to happen on this national call is everybody's going to be in a different market as far as
Right.
listings go. So I think it's a good topic for us to have is listing negotiating strategies, maybe one we should do. We've done it before in the past, but I think we maybe need to do another one again about what to do in a market that's correcting. It's I think it's a whole nother mastermind that we can do where we're having negotiating tactics for how to get price drops from sellers, how to price the listing properly, and also how to create a compelling offer to get people to use you to list their home. I think it's a good one, David, and we'll do that one. We'll actually, Julie, if you're listening, if you'll write that down for us as a topic that we can do, and we'll put a big panel of listing specialists on there, David, for you. So we have that.
Jim,
So
that's
great.
exactly what I did when I first got involved in new construction. I had to talk the builders into reducing the price of their houses to get them sold because they had so many inventory on the market at the time. So markets change constantly for resales and new construction.
I agree with that. And, this is something also is, remember, this builder rep has all kinds of people walking in off the street all day long. What do they do with the people that they either don't want to work with or that don't want a new build? Where are those leads going? Are they throwing those leads in the trash? Is that a valuable asset? This builder rep that you've built a relationship with, become a friend of them. Who are they sending those leads to? You want to be the
Some of
person
them
that they're
together
sending
how
those
together
to.
show too. That's a good point, Jim. That some of the builder here, they only allowed to sell the builder house and
Yeah,
they're not even list the house. So
right.
sometimes I told to them I'm an iBuyer with EXP myself, and we say that we got money ready for them to offer them cash. I say if you come to them and if you had like they want to sell the house and they need to sell right away, I can close within 2 hours after title work clear, so we can do it within 24, 48 hours. We pay cash for them, or we can list for them on the market. It's their choice. Of course, we're going to pay cash. We buy any condition, even the burnout. Of course, we're going to have, like 70% minus repair value, market value. But we're going to, yeah, case by case. So I told them that you have any deal going on, we're going to do that for you. And if you have people with no income, or people have bad credit and they have a lot of down payment, or people have good credit but don't have no job. Let's say a husband and wife. A husband is have good credit but staying home, and the wife have bad credit but have a good job. They have income. They got money down. So we can use a husband. I do a loan with no income program. So I would wow them with a lot of different way that we can offer them, because I've been coaching and training for a lot 20-some years. I'm going to leverage one of this meeting here. I'm going to get a group of mine. I'm going to have meeting the Tuesday because we're going to discuss about. We're going to have some meeting. We're going to about a new home builder too.
Yeah,
This
great.
is a
Make sure
good
you put
topic today.
that, make sure you let Julie know about that group if people want to join in on that and get in on that group on there. Tracy Boss Moves Wiggin had a really great, thanks for that, David. Tracy Boss Moves Wiggin had a really good statement in here. Something that why, as an agent, you would want to do new build homes. some builders actually have bonuses,
Mhm.
right? Some do pay less. This is why you want to interview. This is why you want to have a builder rep for each builder first before you get your builder clients. Is some have bonuses, some only pay a flat fee. Some might only be paying you $1,000 to bring them a buyer. I think in this market now you're seeing ones that have bonuses. Here in Columbus, your first two, we have builders where your first two are 3%. Your third one, they're paying an extra $5,000 bonus, and everyone after that paying even 5, 10, 15. Some are giving away vacations, all kinds of stuff like that. But Tracy had a great point. Tracy, do you want to read what you put in there?
Yeah, I'll quickly speak on it. So there's different builders out there that are offering incentives over and above the 3%. For instance, they may say if you bring them a buyer during the spring months, they're going to do an additional 2,000. I know we have LGI builders here in Georgia that's offering that. But the most important thing is that when we get that buyer's agreement from the beginning, be sure you add that on there that, you know, you're expecting your 3% or whatever your percentage is, but also there's an on ours in Tennessee and Georgia, there's a little box, and maybe in your special stipulations that the buyer understands that if the builder or new construction, or if there's a bonus being offered by a seller, that you can also receive that bonus. Because I was told that if your buyer's agreement only shows 3%, you can only take 3%. If there's a
The
bonus,
buyer broker agreement, guys. Tracy's got it. Make
Buyer's
sure
broker
it allows you to get that bonus money. Make sure you're doing that properly. Review that with your broker. Great
yes.
advice on that, Tracy.
Yes, and one other thing is don't be afraid to ask those new constructions, can you do a home buyers class in their model home? Of course, have their preferred lender to join you, and they'll probably pay for the food and everything. And just make sure that you heavily advertise and maybe do an Eventbrite or anything else that they'll allow you to do. But yeah, co-brand with them and see if you can do a home buyers class in one of those new constructions. And I think that'd be a really good way to bring in some new leads too.
That is great. That is great stuff. The more you spend time with your builder rep, the more opportunities they have for you. You'll get yourself some listings. You'll get some leads that they'll be able to pass you that just aren't interested in new builds whatsoever. You want to be that overflow agent they hand it to. And the way they're going to do that is, are you bringing them ready, willing, and able buyers, right? It's a give and take thing. It's a reciprocal business thing, and you want to do that. Some new build reps, if you send them enough traffic, will also partner with you on marketing. Maybe you build a new build funnel or a new build ad on Facebook that you run, and they can go legally. Again, this is state by state, so make sure you're doing it right. But they can legally pay 50% of your Facebook marketing bill or your Google AdWords pay-per-click campaign. You can do that. But how do you get them to do that? You're bringing them business, right? And they're going to help you scale your business by helping you get more leads so that you can bring them more people, so you can sell more houses and get more advertising on that. So that's great. Great job of that. Somebody had a statement in here that said, David said, oh, you got a surprise trip for 2, all inclusive, with Johnny Coleman builder in 07 in Cancun, Mexico, because it sold 4 in 1 year. So there you go. Right. That's great stuff on that. Who else has an idea of getting some more new build leads, right? How can you get new build leads? We just talked about it a second ago. Social media. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, so one of the things I've noticed in buyers, a lot of times buyers may shy away from new construction sometimes because they need something sooner, right? They need something that's ready to go. They need to get in a property in, 30 days, whatever. They assume in their head that it's going to take a long time. And unless it's ready to go built, it may take a long time. But as an agent, sometimes you become a problem solver and saying, why do you need to get into a house in 30 days? What's holding you back? If you had an alternative place to stay while your home is being built, would you consider it? So sometimes coming up with solutions to their situation will help you migrate them to a new construction. And maybe they have something that's coming out of the ground and be ready in 60 days. Well, how do you get them to that point? Or maybe it's 90 days. So coming up with solutions to their problems can help you to swing people toward new construction when they may have ruled it out because nothing was available right then.
I've also seen builder lenders be more lenient than another lender where they don't qualify to get an existing home. When I worked for the builder, we called them used homes, but that was what we said. Oh, you're going to go buy a used home? Just to put a little doubt in their mind on that. But the builder's lender, their job is to move new construction. And so sometimes they will go in that gray area, where they'll go to a little higher DTI than what you'll get on an existing home and things like that to make the deal happen. And we see that That also happens at car dealerships, right? They do
Yeah.
it there too. They'll make the deal work because they need to move some metal. So those are all great ways to get new build leads. What are some common misconceptions, right? How many people here have ever said, "Hey, maybe we should go look at new builds"? How many people have ever had a buyer say, "Oh, I don't want to look at new builds"? What are some of the misconceptions in their head that says, "Oh, why they wouldn't want a new build"? What do you guys think? What have you got out there? Brian Conrad says too expensive. Who else? Who else got some? You think it's too much money, right? They're looking at the price versus the payment. A lot of those builders are buying down the payment. What are some other misconceptions that are out there?
One of the thing that my client have, this David again, is they say the material or the thing that the build right now is not good, not look as solid that on the house. I mean Memphis area, Memphis, Tennessee area, like 5 house, not a house like 20 years or 30 or 40 years older. Cause over there they just like look more solid. But it's all depend on though. But one thing that uh, I would experiment myself is we got some very picky buyer that like first time investor. We just take them out there to see houses, and every other house, even 4 or 5 years, they got problem, with the painting and here and there. So I say I end up taking them to a brand new houses, and we got it. And one thing about the pricing, I told them is you're gonna invest and you put 20% down. The lender put the 80. So they're the one who they won't let you overbuy it. So all of this depends on the appraisal. If the appraisal come back, the house not worth the value, you don't have to buy. You're not qualified to. You can't buy the house, right? Let's say 300,000, you put 20%, that's 60,000. If the house appraisal less than that, let's say 290, the builder have to reduce the price because they keep it on the market so long. If it's not appraised that much, or you don't have to buy it because you're not qualified at that time because there's only 290.
Well, and that brings up another
Yeah,
topic is the builder warranty, Jim, right? The builders have
Yep.
a warranty on the property. Talk about that for a second.
that's a good thing too.
So
Yep.
they have warranties they put on them, and a lot of them are transferable. And also, what you're going to see is the builder is conforming to the current building code. Homes that were built 10, 20, even 30 years ago, they don't have the same building code that they have now. Maybe they don't have as many outlets. Maybe they're not doing GFCIs, right, in the places where there's electricity in the water when you're seeing built, because that wasn't code back then. So new builds know the property is up to code. And look, especially for first-time home buyers, the last thing they want is a list of honey-do list the first time that they get in, they buy an existing home, right? Tracy Boswoods Wiggins says sometimes one of the complaints is they say it's a cookie cutter layout is a complaint, right? Or the reason they don't go for new construction. Well, they can always move up to custom build homes, right? There are homes that are custom build, but sometimes people they have a champagne taste, but they got a beer budget, right? I like to tell people this, right? When you first get into the home, we're getting you into the home you can afford now, but it's not going to be the home that you're in for the rest of your life, especially if it's a first-time home buyer, right? We have to start normalizing as agents the word starter home. This is a starter home. We're going to start you in it. 82% of you are going to sell and upgrade within 3 to 8 years. Like if they haven't even started their family yet, that first starter home, their kids aren't even going to remember it because that's not the home that they started in. That's going to be the next home or either the third home that's along there. So that's great on that, right? Tracy Boston Williams says she's right. It's your first home. It's a starter home. We're starting you in that, getting you in the game, and then moving you up from there. So the warranties are great. Some builders have up to 30-year structural warranties on their builds, and it's transferable on there. So let's talk a little bit. So it's a quarter till right now. Let's talk about, anybody have questions out there before we go to our next topic on new builds? Who's got a question that they'd like to have answered by the group as far as new builds go? What's a question that you have that's going on? Anybody got one? Let's talk then about some financing incentives. Let's talk about 2-1 buy downs. Who here has heard of a 2-1 buy down or knows what that is? See, here's what we find, especially with first-time home buyers, is that their income is growing rapidly, but they want to get into a house, but they can't really afford it today because they just came out of college. They got their first job. They're on a 1-year probation period and they're making 70,000 out of college. But 2 years from now, they're going to be making 100,000 if they stay at the same company, right? They're going to be going up. They're good for what's called a 2-1 buy down. A 2-1 buy down is where their 30-year fixed interest rate is a 6.5%. But on their first year, they're going to be at 4.5, and on year 2, they're going to be at 5.5, and on year 3, they move to 6.5, and they're that from year 3 through 28. I'm 3 through 30. Sorry, 3 through 30 for the next 28 years, right? It gets them into the house today and gradually stair steps them into the payment. It's super helpful for people that their income is going to be going up dramatically over the next couple of years, and the builder has the ability to do it because they can build the 2-1 buy down into the price. If you have an educated seller and you're really good and you have a listing that you can't sell, offering a 2-1 buy down is a way to do that also. Rob, what are some other financing incentives that they have for new construction that helps buyers get into that house?
Well, I'm not sure about financing, but one of the things that we were always teaching way back in the day, I don't know if this is the case now, maybe Stephanie can tell us this because she's active in this, but we used to teach or tell potential buyers, hey, if you want to build equity in your home, you buy in the first phase. You buy the first phase home, and then as they build second, third, fourth phase of the community, the builder's slowly going up on prices, and you get built-in rise in equity. That was really big back in the day when we would launch a community. We'd sell the first phase out quickly because of that concept. Stephanie, is that still going on?
100%, Rob. I'm so glad you brought that up because that's exactly how I approach, every developer typically will do a development in phases so that they don't bring a ton of lots to inventory into market all at one time. And so phase 1, that's exactly what you're telling those folks. And it happens, believe it or not, in my development here in Louisville, I have people that were in phase 1, built a house, spent $1.8 million. And by the time we installed phase 2, they were like, we want to do it all over again. And they listed their house, made $400,000 because by the time we got back to phase 2, guess what happened? The lots doubled in price because of demand. Right? And so you all have spent a lot of time today talking about track builders, and that's phenomenal. I've always lived on the custom home builder side of things because they're the builders that need your help the most, believe it or not. So when you're in your market, look at who is that custom home builder because they are the people that don't have systems and processes in place. They don't have a marketing person. They don't have a marketing team. They barely know how to work social media. They need you to be their voice. They need you to be their infomercial. They are more likely to want to bring you into the fold a lot of times, okay? And so look for those builders. I'm not saying anything you've heard today. Everything you've heard today is genius and amazing and awesome. But also look for the custom home builder because that is where I made majority of my money, and it's why I'm a developer builder today. And so the custom home builders, they're there and they need you more than any of them. Okay.
That's absolutely true because I know when I was going after builders, I'd look for the smaller builders and maybe they have somebody already representing them in their projects right now, but at some point they're going to get mad at that person or upset with that person or that person can't deliver, and whoever's selling the most of their houses is the one that they're going to go to next. So you can get in line for a small builder if you do like Stephanie says, is get in there, build a relationship, sell their homes, get to know them and their inventory. You can get in line to be their next representative to represent their properties.
And that is a great point. When you meet your builder rep, I would move and I would have a rep at every builder, definitely the custom builds and things like that, so that you have somebody that you can send it to. Here's the great thing about it is you can be on vacation on the beach, having a margarita and have your lead system set up, have a lead come in. And if you have a builder rep at all the different types of builders, you have somebody you can send it to. You understand the registration process, whether you have to be there to threshold them through the door. It's very important. So you've got tract homes, you have custom homes, and we have another type of home, which are called spec homes. Spec homes are homes that are already under construction because One of the biggest complaints I hear from agents are, man, I don't know if I want to do a new build because I don't want to wait 9 months to get paid, right? What about spec homes? Homes that are already being built where either the deal fell out or the builders are putting them in the ground because they have crews they need to still keep busy because they're paying them anyways. They might as well have them building homes. Rob, what's your experience with spec homes out there?
So my builder did, he always had at least 4 spec homes going at one time. And we had a program that every time we got a pre-sale, he could do another pre-sale and add another spec home because the bank would now lend him money because that contract is like cash to a builder to a bank, right? So if you pre-sold a lot for a new build, he could take that and go get cash for the property. If he sold a spec, he'd have to sell that spec before he can build another spec. So he loved to have that good mix going on where we had specs going, but because once he closes them, he can build another one. But if we pre-sold a lot, it's like taking cash to a bank for a builder. So when you're working with builders, knowing what he's going through or she's going through to build that property, what they're going to need from the bank, what they need from you. If he or she's building 4 spec homes at a time and just selling 4 at a time, that's one thing. But if you can build 4 spec homes and 4 pre-sales, now you can get loans for all of them because you have contracts on them. You can sell more real estate and or sell more new homes and make more money as a builder. So helping that builder accomplish their goals, doing things like that.
Yep, for sure. And one thing that every person should put out today, a piece of content on your social media, is to remind your sphere of influence that everyone needs to have an agent when they buy a new build. Here's what happens. They walk in off the street, they see the pretty model, and they go in and they think the rep sitting there is the realtor. Well, they are, but they're representing the seller. I can't tell you, when Stacy and I were selling new builds, it was probably close to 2/3 of all the sales we did had no agent representing the buyer because they would just come in off of the builder's marketing, or they would see the sign on the street, or they're driving by down the street and they're like, wow, look at all these bulldozers going and stuff like that. And they say, oh, model home, let's go look at the pretty model home. We walk in, we'd get them, and they have no agent. So you need to get out there in front of your sphere of influence and say this: if you or anybody you know is thinking about getting a new build, you need representation when you're buying the new builder. Here's the thing: the builder rep's great and awesome, but they represent the seller. You need someone representing you, the person. And then when you get in there with the builder rep who you've built a relationship with already, make sure you get in there and STFU, shut the heck up. You've got to be quiet when you're there because, yes, the builder rep does represent the builder, but you guys are on the same team. That builder rep doesn't get paid unless they sell their product. They're going to overcome the objections for your buyers. You just sit there quiet and pretty and nod your head yes to what the builder rep is saying, and they're going to get you built. And if you're dealing with the custom and you're dealing with the owner of or the developer of that community, you get in there and you be quiet. Let them do the talk. They're going to sell your clients for you. And if they have nothing for them, if they're a good builder rep, they're going to tell you where you should take them. Hey, this product's not going to work. This area is not going to work for them, but you should go see Bill over here in this community with this builder, and they'll send you that way and they'll help you. They'll be your best friend, your best source of leads for listings and also buyers they can't help, but also they're going to direct you as to where you should go. And that's the biggest thing everybody can do today is an action plan. Put that video out on their social media that you need representation, and start creating relationships. Pick one and become their best friend. And once you've developed that relationship, get the next one and the next one and the next one. You should have one at every single company. And we had the question from Summer Strange. She goes, what are the other 2 types? There's spec homes, there's custom build homes, and then what we call tract homes or production builders. One that are doing mass production with very little customization. And those are the 3 types that are out there for you. I would add maybe a 4th one, and that's ones that build on your land.
Right.
So some of you are here, you're like, well, we don't have production builders in our town or city or things like that. Well, if there's nothing for your client in the existing market, you can go find a piece of land. You can even take a farmer and have them cut off a little 5-acre plot. And then you can find a custom builder, which custom doesn't always mean expensive. We have in Columbus custom builders that start at the $450 mark.
Yep.
to put a
And
little
you
ranch
can
on
cost
their own
cost
plot.
plus and things like that. You can get some decent deals finding your own builder.
Right. This is the way to leverage and scale your business while you're out there doing the existing. I would maybe even say that every person you get that you bring in that's looking at existing, you go and plop them in front of a new build rep, especially one that you've built a relationship with that's in their price range. And I promise you, you come out of there with a sale instead of showing them 20, 30 houses. If that's, you know, the kind of inventory your market has, you can spend an afternoon with them in a new build model and come away in contract that day. Happens all the time on new builds on that. We have about 4 minutes to wrap up. Who has questions, comments, concerns, and insight that you'd like to share with the group as we're getting close to finishing up? Everybody's always so shy on these things. Everybody listens and pays attention, has a good time, but everybody is super shy on it.
And I have something to keep in mind when you're representing buyers. Usually, it's one of the most stressful times when they're buying a home that's under construction. Okay, if it's got to go through the construction process, it's very stressful for buyers. I've seen divorces happen because of it. Now, your job as an agent is to handle expectations, right? And you're going to say, hey, you're going to see nothing happening for a while because we got to get permits. And then you're going to see the foundation going in, and then we got to let it sit for a minute. Then you're going to see da-da-da. You need to know the process and handle expectations with your buyers so they're not freaked out along the way.
And if you're intimidated by that, like, oh my gosh, I don't know the process, who's your best friend? The builder rep.
Yes.
The builder rep's going to tell you, hey, by the way, tell them this. And just regurgitate back to them, or take the text they send you and cut and paste it and send it over to them so that they manage the expectations of the process as it goes. Because it can be stressful, right? They'll see a broken board and they think the house is going to fall in, when that's just the normal process of framing a home, right? It's a man-made, man and woman built product, and there's no such thing as a perfect one, right? It's hand built as they put it together like that. So I want to thank everybody for jumping on. I hope you got something out of it today. Here's your action plan. Put a video out. As soon as we get off this thing, get your phone out and remind everybody you know that they need builder representation. And just say, if you or anyone you know is thinking about getting a new build, I'd love to talk to them. Please introduce them to me, because you need representation. You need to put that out today. And today, you need to make an appointment before the end of the week to meet and have coffee or take some lunch into the model to a builder rep. Get in there, get to know them, become their best friend. They are a huge source of leads for you, as well as you can leverage your business, especially if they're super helpful at letting you threshold buyers by just basically sending their name, phone number, and email. If they consider that a registration, that's an awesome builder rep with there. And then get your people in front of them as much as you can, and then schedule yourself an open house. Hold a builder open house. Get it done this week. Just rip the Band-Aid off. I don't care if you've ever done it. Go do it. And I promise you, you'll be rocking and rolling by this weekend with leads that are going on that. So Shanice said we answered every question she had. Thank you very much. Brian Conrad said good stuff. And he's got a meeting tomorrow to build with a builder tomorrow afternoon. So it's good. Tracy Boswoods Wiggins says that. Next week, just so you know, next week, I don't think we did we didn't do it yet, but our topic for next week, remind me again what we're doing real quick. Oh, we're doing the law of large numbers. Yep. How to scale your real estate business based on the math. Now, look, most people do their real estate business just willy-nilly here or there. There is an exact law, by the way, based on millions and millions of transactions and hundreds of thousands of agents. There is a law that is irrefutable that tells you how to do your business. There's different variables that go into your business, but agents get distracted all the time. I should be doing this. Maybe I should do this website. Maybe I should do this funnel. Maybe I should do this, this, and this. There's one variable that you can control in real estate, and we're going to talk about it and how to scale your business and how I can calculate exactly how much money you're going to make based on this one variable. And it's the law. It's going to be called the reverse sales funnel. We're going to teach it to you, so you never, ever, ever again have to wonder, how much money am I going to make this year? You will know beyond the shadow of a doubt, based on millions of transactions and hundreds of thousands of agents in every market all across the country, from the biggest names in the industry. One of them is Tom Ferry. The other one is Renee Rodriguez. and we're going to teach it to you. And guess what? You don't have to pay thousands of dollars to sit through the seminar because one of us was already there. It's going to teach it to you, and then we're going to give you an exact action plan to go out and just crush the rest of 2025. So I thank everybody for jumping on. I'm going to stop the recording.